Hey everybody! Let's see how many people we have now. Oh, we got lots of people. Alright, cool. Well, welcome to the stream. Just finished setting up. Everything should be correct, working. Whoops. And webcam options show up. Get rid of that. Alright. Let's take a listen to the track before we get started. Here we go. Alright, thanks everyone for listening to that, and welcome. This is my creative live stream. I'm Ben Prunty, for those of you who don't know and are just joining. This is where I make music and do commentary and answer questions, and we're working on this. And this is a track that was originally supposed to be used for my documentary that I was working on. And it didn't end up getting used, so now we're just doing whatever we want with it. So yeah, welcome. And last week we added this whole drum part and like more cello stuff sort of up the energy of it. So yeah, hello everybody, thanks for joining. I was thinking maybe we can try to wrap this up this time. I don't know. We're gonna have to do a lot of mixing and stuff. This part doesn't, I don't know, if some of it doesn't mix very well, but let's go over it again. I kind of forgot about it, honestly. I didn't even remember the drum stuff that we added. So let's go over this again. Yeah, it does sound pretty cool, but I don't know, something about it is bugging me. So what was this back here? I have this thing called Noise Splash. I know what it usually is, but I don't remember hearing it when we had it in here. Did I mute it? No, it's not muted. Let's listen to it. Oh, it's just not functioning. There it goes. Yeah, it's functioning. I don't know why it's not playing, though. Alright, yep, so this is one of the weird things about working with digital audio workstations, is sometimes stuff won't work and you won't know why. And it may be something really obvious, or it may be something really mysterious. In this case, I'm not really sure what it is. Do we have muted parts? Let me unmute. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I don't really like it, I guess. Maybe that's why I got rid of it in the first place. But it might do better. Let's try over here. Whoop. I actually do like it a lot better there, but it needs to be a bit quieter. Still don't really like it that much, but I want more of a entrance for that. I'm not really sure what to do yet, but we're going to mute this whole part here. Yeah, maybe it's okay as it is. I don't know. Having a hard time with transitions in this one. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Some of you guys have watched all of the previous ones, and so it's kind of cool that you guys got to see this thing evolve over time. And if you haven't, you can go on YouTube and watch the previous ones, because I've been exporting all these to YouTube as well. So in case you weren't here before, let me go over some basic concepts of this track. So this track started out with just this one instrument here, and it sounds like this. And it eventually goes to this, which is what I call the core of it, although maybe seed is a better example. Here, I'll open it up so you can see the MIDI here. And this is what everything else was based around. Whoa, there it goes again. Sometimes it does that. Just gonna have to get used to it. So yeah, that is sort of the seed or the core of the whole track. Everything else is written around that, and it's 3 chords. It's a E minor, D major, yeah, D major, and a C major. And then I just built more and more parts around that as I built the song. So I like added a bass line, and added pads and added a melody. This is all covered in the previous broadcasts, and you can see them on YouTube. I go into more detail on how that was created. But now we're getting to the end, and it is kind of long. How long is it now? I guess it's not all that long. It's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at this stuff at the end and see if we can polish it a bit more, maybe add more stuff, maybe wrap it up. I don't know. What do you guys think? We'll start playing it again from here. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so this is where it changes. This is a good transition actually to start from. We'll start a little bit before it. This is when everything moves up a fifth, or is it down a fifth? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it moves up a fifth. So everything transitions there where it kind of changes the mood and the feel of it. So we'll start a little bit behind it. Okay, so first of all, that cello is a little quiet, and this is a little loud. So we're going to turn this down. Oh, I turned it way up before. How odd. So here's a tip. It's perfectly normal if you open a track or a project that you've been working on, and you listen to it and you're like, I don't even remember doing that. That's okay. That's gonna happen a lot. I do it all the time. I go back to listen to stuff and I'm like, I don't even remember what I was thinking when I did this. Let's start here. That's better. This needs to be louder. Alright, so maybe we'll do some just mixing and general fixing up of things. For now. That's better, yeah. So, yeah. let's listen to the whole thing over again, if you guys don't mind. I want to get an idea of where to take this now, whether I want to start wrapping up or whether I want to add more stuff. I'm also thinking about cutting some stuff out. Like, I don't know if this part really needs to be in here. I'm not sure how much it adds to it. And here, I'll play it again, actually. Yeah, so who is that Ben Prunty guy, anyway? I don't know. Oh, we've got some questions here. Recursion says, okay, so editing MIDI velocities, is it literally as tedious as just going note by note in the piano roll and editing them, or am I missing some standard most DAWs have? As far as I know, it is just as tedious as going in. However, as you go, you start to learn patterns that work for whatever it is you're trying to make. So yeah, it can get kind of tedious, you know, editing velocities, but part of it is like that's part of why you might want to learn piano at least a little bit, because then you can kind of like do good velocity just by playing. So like for simple parts, I can just play it and then I have the velocity sort of built in, and I don't need to do as much editing. But I still pretty much do editing on almost everything. So yeah, it's going to be tedious. But the better you play, the less editing you're going to have to do, for sure. That thing behind me is actually a didgeridoo from Australia, and sometime I'll play it for you guys. There are other things that you can do that I don't really use a lot, but they have like, you can do curves. Like here I can be like, make a curve, and then everything fits that curve. But like, you know, you gotta have a reason to do that kind of thing. So, and you can make different curves too. Like, that's kind of neat. This actually probably pretty useful if you know what you're doing. You make a curve, and then you set like how big the curves will be and everything. So it could be useful, but I generally just edit everything by hand. Let's see here. Oh, casually challenged us what music program you're using. I'm using Cubase 7.5. That's what I do everything in. All of my music was done in this. I did FTL soundtrack in Cubase, Gravity Ghost, Star Crawlers, Dead Secret, everything. I've been using Cubase for about 11 years, I'd say. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's got a bit of a weird workflow, or so people tell me. I don't know, because like I don't know anything else really. I do know some Ableton, and Ableton may be easier to use. I don't know. So yeah, let's go back and listen to this all over again. I want to get a better idea of like context. Sorry for doing all this scrolling stuff. I'm sure it's like visually difficult. Ooh, what happened? We got weirdness. Why does it sound like that? Crap. Okay, so sometimes you get this kind of weirdness too, where where strange stuff changes on you and you don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's not supposed to sound like that. Alright, we're gonna have to just control Z a lot. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, we're gonna have to it must have been the velocity, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's permanently affected the velocity to be at maximum or something. I don't know what's going on. This is not the first time I've had this issue, and I don't know what changed. Hang on, let me look at what else has been. It's just velocity. Nothing else has been edited. Alright, we're gonna have to close this and start up again. It's okay, I didn't really change much anyway. At least not that I remember. Oh, I did some editing on... Yeah, we can save it and then save as. Yeah, stuff like this can happen. I'm gonna close it and open it up again. Sorry, guys. So, do you guys have any questions while I'm fixing this weird issue? Oh, it's still doing it. Oh no, we messed it up. Alright, let me load up an earlier version of the track. Delete the backup project. Delete. This track was originally being made for a documentary called Banking on Bitcoin, which I'd like to talk more about, but like they still haven't released anything about it. Okay, here's the version I opened up earlier. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what the hell that is. Weird audio issues are going to be a normal part of working with like digital audio workstations and tons of synthesizers and tons of effects. The more moving parts you have, the more things are going to go weird and wrong, and you're just going to have to work around it. And just save often. Save a whole lot. Never stop saving. I have this set up to do a backup every 5 minutes. Anyway, I don't know when that documentary is going to come out. I know that's a common question. I have no idea. I finished the soundtrack. As far as I know, the movie is done, and I just haven't heard from the filmmakers in a while. As soon as I know anything, I will definitely let you guys know. But yeah, this saves a backup every 5 minutes, and it saves like 10 backups. So if anything goes wrong, it's very easy for me to like go back and find an easy fix for problems. But yeah, definitely save a lot. So let's listen to the whole thing, like we said we were going to do. Oh, let me change those things that I meant to fix. This goes down a little, and this goes up. There. Oh yeah, you can't hear it. That's right, because I didn't set it up right. Sorry guys, hang on. I just forgot. Boop. Now it should work. Let me make sure. Nope, still not working. That's odd. Oh, I see what happened. Realtek digital audio. Everything else is right. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I like everything up to that point. Like, everything up there is perfect. Don't want to change anything behind there, except for, you know, maybe mixing and such. But I don't want to change any of that. So that's all good and locked. This stuff afterward is a little more iffy. Oh, we got a question. Tips on creating melodies. My biggest tip would be to start with a chord progression. Come up with a chord progression first. And then go from there. So that's definitely the biggest thing you can do. The best thing you can do for your melodies is to start with a good chord progression. Then you can build a melody around it. Like, even the most basic thing, which is like you write like just notes that are at the root of each chord in the chord progression, still sounds pretty good. Let me demonstrate, perhaps. Let's just loop this here. And do I have a... Oh boy, see, this is where I should have labeled all my tracks. I believe this was the... No, this is the Celeste. Yeah. So if we do this and we loop this, right, so this is a chord progression. It's just 3 chords, right? So if I do a melody that's just these 3 notes, which is the root of each chord, E, D, and C, you have a pretty good melody already. Listen to this, listen to this. Okay, ready? Yeah, go back. That was, whoops, cancel. Did not mean to close. All right. Now see, all I did was just play the root note of each at the beginning of every chord, and it sounded pretty cool. So try starting that way with a melody, and then like expand on that. You could do like, I don't really know if, yeah, that would sound pretty cool. So these are like fourths. So if we do like So you already have something neat, and it was just a few notes. And then you can start adding flourishes. So let me see here. Okay. Alright, we got a flourish here. Alright. So, very simple and also very effective. So start with a chord progression, make a very simple melody, and then start adding flourishes as you go. And you'll eventually end up with a pretty cool melody, I think. So I hope that helps. Nabalas asks, do you have experience with recording real-life instruments? Can you recommend a good way to do it? Yeah, get a closet and record in the closet. You don't need that much expensive equipment to get like decent recordings of live instruments. I don't do a lot of live recording, but I have the capability to do it. I have a nice AKG microphone. I forget what it's called, but if you could get like $100 microphone, and you can even just like go to like a music shop and ask the people there like what a good microphone is. Go online. You can go to my blog, and I recommend a good recording microphone on my blog, and get something that can record that has a good preamp, some kind of audio input for your computer that has a good preamp, and then find a closet to record in. Those are the three things that you need. All right, we got some more questions. I get a question that may be more opinion than answerable, but really on music in games is limited by the tech, but often some very memorable and good music came out of the era. Then music was able to be real, and a bunch of tech could allow full tracks and CD quality, etc., but it suddenly became more rare for music in games to be memorable or good. Lots of bland or worse game music in the 90s and 2000s. Okay, so that's true that like when there are a lot fewer like memorable melodies when CDs came along, perhaps, maybe, but you got to remember there was also a lot of bad music in old games. It's just you don't remember those. But seriously, play like an NES game that's not like Mega Man or Zelda or Mario or Castlevania. Play some of the other ones that we don't remember as well, and you'll find that most of them have really terrible music. And it's just that like soundtracks that are good you remember, and soundtracks that are bad you forget. I think there have been many really cool melodies in a lot of games throughout any era. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure I agree. I think that you can make good music and bad music with any medium, and I think we just tend to forget when we hear bad music. All right, we got lots of stuff in the chat here. Excuse me a moment. Okay, yeah. Hi, Wet Desert Rock. This is the same song as last week. And we've been talking about melodies and music of the era of different eras. When do you know that you're done with a song? You never quite know. You have to sort of just make a call. Usually it's like I have... usually, when you make a song, you have like a thing that you want it to say. Like you have a mood or something that you're trying to convey. And once you like... once you feel that it's done that, then you can start deciding when to finish it. But yeah, it's really hard to know when something is done. It's usually you just have to make the call. Alright, so we determined that I liked everything up to this point here. Everything before that was great. So this stuff I'm not so sure about. So let's go listen to it again. Hey, Master Sword! So this middle section here, from here to here, I'm totally not sure about. Not, like, we could maybe cut all of this out and it wouldn't really hurt the song much. But we can actually test out that theory if we want with Cubase's arrangement feature. Add an arranger track. Where did I put it? Okay. So then with the arranger track, you actually draw an arrangement part. So let's zoom out here a bit, and we make this one thing that's A, this is B, and this is C. And then we go here and we I want A to go directly to C and skip B. So then we just turn on arrangement. Yeah, activates arrangement mode. And now when we play it, it'll skip the B section here that I marked. Oh, let's see, we got some questions here. Okay, see you later, Recursion. Thanks a lot for joining. See you later. Perfect Sword asks, hey Ben, question for you. When you start a song, do you start it in the DAW or on sheet music, paper, a piano, etc.? Usually I start in my workstation. Sometimes I will have an idea and I will need to like write it down or something, and I'll like kind of like maybe hum it into my phone and record it onto Evernote. Sometimes I'll start just by like experimenting, so I'll just load up a bunch of different instruments in my workstation and just start messing around with it. I have an app on my iPad called Polychord, which I love. And let me get it here. Yeah, so it looks like this, and you can play different chords with it. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it here, but I'll turn it up. Oop, that's turning it down. This helps with ideas on chord progression, so you can play different chords and different variations of different chords on it, and it's very fun to play with, and I use it all the time to help me come up with ideas. I started NG, which is one of my favorite tracks ever that I did, using that polychord. I came up with a chord progression on it and then wrote a whole song around that. Speaking of phones, are there any good phone Droid apps for simple music making? You know, if you can find one, let me know. I don't really know. I used to try to look for like apps, like cool apps that were for music writing, but I really dislike the touchscreen. I want to touch things, like hit things with my fingers, and touchscreens are the worst for like feedback. So I don't really like it. So I'm not really sure. If anyone else in the chat knows, definitely chime in. Okay, we're gonna listen to this, but we're gonna skip from one section to the other. We're gonna skip this piece that I don't really like and see how it sounds. Alright, so it's gonna skip past this blues section here, or it should. I gotta say, I like that a lot better. That is way better pacing to me. I think I'm gonna cut out that whole section. Hey, Helmstiff. Yeah, man, that's just much better transition. This stuff is unnecessary, I think. It was fun putting it together with you guys, but it's just not necessary. It doesn't add anything to the song. It's just replaying stuff that was already there with new instruments, and sometimes that can work, but that's like not in this case, I'll say. Casually Challenge asks, do you have a favorite or most memorable video game tune theme from back in the 8 to 16-bit era? Well, I have lots. I love Shatterhand's soundtrack. Earthbound is my favorite soundtrack of all time. Doom is really fun. You know, and everyone loves Zelda and Mario soundtracks. But yeah, I would say, and like Castlevania 4 is another really favorite of mine. Super Castlevania 4, really good soundtrack. If you haven't listened to it yet, you should. And man, going from here to there is a much better transition than what it was before. Yeah, that's so good. Alright, so I'm making the call and we're going to cut that out. Chop all of it. So what we're going to do is first we're going to save this as a new file. Okay, yeah. We're doing a save as. And then we're just going to start deleting. Sorry, all this stuff that we worked on. And this, and we'll turn this arrangement thing off, and then we just grab all this other stuff and move it back. Boop. That should work. Alright, it works. So we don't need this arrangement track anymore. I'll stick it in this folder here, make it disappear. So now the song is a lot shorter, for one thing. I'm gonna try. That's a symbol, right? Yeah. Put a symbol in here. Where is that? That's it. I don't know if this will sound good or not, but we're going to try it anyway. That's kind of cool. Let's turn it down a little bit. Needs to be a little louder. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good enough for now. Okay, we got some questions. Yeah, if you haven't played Earthbound, you should definitely play it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. What would you say have been your biggest influences in making your own music? In big influences, the British electronic band Orbital were a big influence. William Orbit, who's no relation to Orbital, he's an awesome like ambient music artist, and you should definitely check out. If nothing else, you should check out William Orbit's Strange Cargo 1, the very first Strange Cargo album, and Hello Waveforms. Those are probably his two best albums. So Orbital, William Orbit, Earthbound was a huge influence on me getting into games in general. It's not too much to say that like Earthbound kind of changed my way of thinking and my life in some way when I first played it when I was a teenager or a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I wasn't very old. Earthbound, Hesper Kid, who's a game composer, and he'd done a lot of music for he did music for the Hitman games, Assassin's Creed. In particular, what was really influential was MDK2. He did the music for that, and that I played the game a little, but I wasn't a huge fan of the game, but man did I love the soundtrack, and I listened to it all the time, and it has a huge influence on my sound. Super Metroid was another influence. So yeah, all of those things sort of came together and influenced like FTL and Gravity Ghost and Starcrawlers and all the other things that I've worked on. Okay, we got some other. While working, do you prefer to run sound through your monitor speakers or headphones? I almost always like to work with my monitor speakers. It's actually pretty unusual for me to use headphones, but it's necessary for the live stream, obviously, because can't have the speakers going and also have a microphone in the room. So I do headphones for this, but I really like doing through speakers. I like the the sound of it, and I don't know, it's more relaxing for me to have it through headphones somehow. Alright, so let's listen to this again. A mess. Okay, now that I feel a little more comfortable with where we are, I think someone suggested. Oh yeah, Helmstead said the cello part could double the length. Yeah, we could like add more. We could just like copy this, copy this, copy this, copy this. Could even do another flourish here. Yeah. Oh, you know what we could do? Get those Celesta out again. Here we go. F3 to what is it? F3A. See, the problem here is I don't really remember what I wrote the other day, so it's like I want to recreate it with, was that it? Whoa, wrong thing. See, I want to play it, but I don't really remember. Like, I could just, like, recreate the notes here. Yeah, let's do that instead anyway. Whoops. We don't need it to be that loud, so we turn it way down, and we move this up 2 octaves. We want it, yeah, we want it down 1 more. Whoops. Select all, move it down. These are still too loud. I don't know if this is gonna sound good, but we're trying it. First of all, you can't really hear it, and I also don't think it sounds all that good. But maybe we just need to turn this one down and then turn this up. I think I'm onto something here, but that doesn't sound good. Maybe we'll do an octave instead. At what point after you write something do you add effects, EQ, compression, etc.? It's kind of done like partially while I'm writing it. Like if I load up something and I want it to have, like, a lot of times the delay sound, like in FTL, you have like a lot of repeating delays, and in this as well, and it's kind of integral to the sound. So you put it in early just to make sure that it sounds good all the time. Other effects I may do in the mixing process later when the song is closer to being done and I'm just sort of polishing. I may add effects or take things out and do more EQ. But yeah, it's kind of an organic process. You just have to sort of decide as you go what needs to be fixed and what doesn't. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep editing this, so there's gonna be a bit of quiet as I'm like going on and fixing these and editing it until I like it. That doesn't sound good at all. Yeah, no, something, it just doesn't work. But, you know what else is fun is we can just grab this and make something else play it. Like, we can make that original sound play it. Yeah, doesn't sound very good. Oh, we've got the old flute thing. I forgot about that. We could maybe do something with that. Well, let's try, yeah, let's put this in here. And since it can only, this can only play one note at a time, so. Yeah, I still don't like that. What about If we like reverse this. How about continuing with a melody solo afterwards? Take away the tension. Yeah, we could do something cool like that. Let's try that. We can just repeat this again here. Put this in here. Get rid of this. That's no good. We can even, let's try something else. Like, let's start just taking everything out here. What does it sound like when we do this? That is pretty cool. Let's hear how it sounds the whole way through here. Pretty cool, but I want to change the melody here. Turn that off. There we go. Yeah, all right. See, check that out. We just made a variation on a melody, and it sounds really cool. So let's listen to it all over again. Hey, Arachnobot. Master Sword says, hey, any news on potential release time frame for the documentary album? No news, sorry. Still haven't heard from the filmmakers in a while. Still waiting on it. As soon as I know anything, I will announce it on Twitter. So yeah, if any of you guys want to know more about what I do, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Ben Prunty on Twitter. Subscribe to this channel. I do this every Saturday, so feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, and you can go to my Bandcamp, and I got a ton of music there to listen to, and I do soundtracks for games. that is pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do, I think I have an idea of what I want next. So, let's take this. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. So look at that, we just added a ton of new content. So let's go back over this part where I was, where I added a variation. So all I did was, we started with this. This was the cello melody that you heard. Here, we'll play it again. So you heard that, and we wanted to extend that whole idea out, and I took out a bunch of the instruments, and then all I did was I copy and then pasted the same melody over here, and then I went in and I just moved some of the notes, and I thought about the previous melody, and I thought what its contours were, like how it moved, and then I just like tweaked that in a few spots, and we had a whole new section. And so then we get a nice variation, and we have a lot more content from like one sort of idea. Starts a little late. Turn that. With the cello, because it's a legato instrument and it has transitions between notes, like there's some time there between notes, so you have to start each note a little early. And how early is like depending on, you just have to tweak it until it makes sense. But yeah, in order to get like a longer melody, I just copy pasted and then made variations on that, and that's a very effective way of like writing a cool melody. All right, we've got some questions here. Casually Challenge asks, what determines the length of a song for you? It depends on what I'm working on. In this case, this track doesn't have any specific use. I'm just making it because I want to, and it's part of the live stream. The length doesn't matter. I usually like to do something longer than 3 minutes because you need a certain amount of time to get like immersed in a song if you're just listening to it for like casual listening. Okay, see you later, Amora. Thanks for watching. So I lost my train of thought. So, oh yeah, so the length of the song. And for soundtracks, it may depend on entirely on the game. I have one story that I like to tell in lectures and stuff that I give, where early on in FTL we were like, okay, so there's exploring and then there's battling, and it seemed obvious to be like, okay, let's make some exploration music and let's make some battle music, and we'll just have it switch between the two. And so I wrote some exploration music and I wrote entirely separate battle music, and I would write like 3-minute long songs or whatever, and I wrote a couple of them. They weren't very good, so it's kind of better that this didn't work out. But anyway, I did all this, and then we put it in the game, and we started playtesting the game, and it turned out that the average battle only lasted 30 seconds. And so I had all this music written, and that it would just get cut out 30 seconds in. And if we had like playtested first before I wrote all this music or whatever, it would have been a little easier. So anyway, that's sort of what led to FTL's like dynamic music system, because it was like, well, battles don't last that long. It would be jarring to keep introducing new music, stopping it. Like Final Fantasy style, which is terrible. Like Final Fantasy has great music, but horrible implementation of that music, where you have the one battle track. It's like, let's write a gigantic, like 4-hour soundtrack, but only have the player listen to just one of those songs for the entire, like, half the game. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why they kept doing it. But anyway, we didn't want to do that, so that's why FTL has, like, has the dynamic music system in the first place, because of that one thing. So yeah, length of a song can be a very important part of your, like, decision-making process. So yeah, what the hell, Final Fantasy? Like, they really do write so much music. Like, I used to import, back in the days before MP3s, I would import the soundtracks for Final Fantasy games. I imported Final Fantasy 7 and 8 soundtrack on CD from Japan, and it was super expensive. And it was like 4 discs. And it's like, how is it you write 4 discs worth of music, but you force the player to listen to one song for like half the game? I never understood that logic. Meanwhile, Earthbound, my favorite soundtrack, has like 8 different battle tracks, and it depends on the enemy. Alright, let's listen to this whole thing. an idea. Whoops. Hang on. What was it? I want to move it up a fifth. So 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I like that or not. Although maybe we can bring back this original melody, because this is my favorite, and I'm pretty sure it's everyone else's favorite too. Glue those together. Double that. Maybe we can do this instead. Let's just eat that. Put it over here for now, and try this instead. And move it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I got some questions. Sorry, guys. Dalton Fisher 9 asks, "Are you much into sound design, Ben?" Well, I did the sound effects for FTL and Gravity Ghost, and another game called Dungeon Hearts. I'm not very much into sound design. If I had like a full Foley studio and I was a professional, which I did in college, which was awesome. We did real Foley sound work when I was in college, and it was super fun. But because I don't have that, I just have my little studio here. I just prefer to do music. It's more my thing. So yeah, I'm not too into it. I do have some books on it and everything. I appreciate sound design a lot. Like when a game has good sound effects, I notice. And I love learning about sound design, but I don't really like doing it myself. Dolphin Fisher also asks, "How do you know what you want to transpose that up to so quick?" Oh, that's because of a decision, one single decision I made a while ago, which was at this point here to move everything up 1/5, which is 7 half steps. See, I know that sounds confusing. It makes sense if you know music theory. But yeah, it's everything moved up a fifth. So anything that I take from this half of the track over here, I have to move it up a fifth. Well, I don't have to, but you want to. Let's listen to what that sounds like in place. We'll start here. Like it as much in that position. Let's hear it again. Maybe it's because it's too loud. Let's try this part instead. Again, we already listened to it before, but I want to try it again at the better volume. Sometimes volume can be the difference between a part that sounds good and a part that sounds terrible. So like if you, and I think I've said this before on previous ones, but if you put in a melody like I just did, or you just drop a melody in and it doesn't sound good, just try lowering the volume a bit first and listen to it that way before you just ditch it altogether. somehow fits with the percussion better than the other one does. So I think I'm going to stick with this. Although Wet Desert Rock suggests dropping it a fourth instead, which is kind of cool. That might be better. Let's try that. We'll just do a whole octave at this point. Let's see what it sounds like that way. Stick with that. Go back now and listen to this whole part. Sounds pretty cool. Let's try something else. What does this sound like? This is gonna sound awful at first. In fact, let me lower this. Here we go. Actually, that sounds kind of cool. If we do this and this. I don't know, I'm just, right now I'm doing pure experimentation here. Interesting. It is kind of cool, but I don't really know if let's keep adding stuff. Yeah, we're just experimenting, so like stuff isn't going to be perfectly mixed right now. I don't know. I don't really know, but I'm going to keep it in for the moment and listen to it again. That's actually pretty cool right now. Let's listen to the whole thing again. I need some context. I'm getting too deep into that section, and I need to get a more broader view of everything. Yeah, you know, I kind of like all that. I really like this part here. That works really well. Oh, we have some questions. Is anything ever perfectly mixed? No, not really. That is true. Have you thought about making a very melancholy soundtrack? Well, I thought that much of Gravity Ghost soundtrack is pretty melancholy. There's a lot of sad stuff in that. And a lot of people say that describe FTL's soundtrack as melancholy, so I guess. Yeah, I think I want to cut it from here. I think this is going to be the rest of the end of the song here. Let's listen to this again. We do a fade out here. It's actually kind of neat. FTL is not melancholy. Okay, well, I guess everybody can interpret it how they want. But only 3 tracks in the whole soundtrack have major chords in them. So everything else is minor chords, which people tend to interpret as melancholy. Do you have a favorite track from a work you have done, or a favorite album of your own? Yeah, I've got a lot of favorite stuff. It's hard to pick like an absolute favorite, because I'm like, oh, I did really well with this kind of style in this soundtrack, and I did like something else that I did better here. I think Color Sky or Dark Window are my favorite albums that I've done. I really like Dark Window. I know it's the absolute least fan favorite of all my work, but it's my own personal favorite. I really like The Mystic from Gravity Ghost. That was, I feel like, is like some of my best music writing, or Memory from Gravity Ghost as some of my best like pure music writing. I love NG from FTL too. It's really cool. Love these streams. Thanks so much. Oh yeah, thanks a lot for joining. For Cragsmum. I'll talk to you on Twitter. Yeah, so some of my best writing I think my best pure like chord and melody writing is in Gravity Ghost. Sorry. Some of my best overall production is probably FTL. I really love the jazz pieces from Starcrawlers. And yeah, Dark Window is probably my personal favorite. But yeah, Starcrawlers has got some good stuff. Nice. I was wondering about that. All right, yeah, talk to you later. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that Casually Challenge. You mentioned FTL is like one of the perfect albums that evokes space to me. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think when the game first came out, a lot of people were surprised that it didn't sound like Star Wars, because that's what people associate with space. Is like, thanks to Star Wars in 2001, we always think bombastic orchestra for space. And I wanted to get away from that when I did FTL. It's like, no, we're not going to do... Because if I did that, it'd just sound like everything else, and I didn't want to be like that. So I kind of gave FTL like its own style of like this sort of like chiptunes, but with this sort of cinematic sound, but without an orchestra, no orchestra parts. And I think a lot of people were surprised. Many of the reviewers didn't even mention the music, of course. But reviewers who did a lot of them felt like the music did not fit. They're like, this doesn't sound like space to me. So yeah, it's an interesting thing that like how we interpret stuff and expectations. Yeah, guys, I totally agree with you. I didn't think that it was appropriate. I didn't think a bombastic orchestra was appropriate for FTL, which is why I did the style that I did, for sure. But what I'm saying is that the expectations of reviewers was that it was supposed to be, because it was space, it had to be that kind of thing. And, you know, I'm really happy to have messed with their expectations. All right, I'm going to try something here. We have this sort of fade out here at the end, right, of the melody coming back and playing. It's kind of cool, right? But I'm going to do something. I did this with a couple of tracks in Dark Side Detective, which isn't out yet, sorry. But hopefully it'll be out soon. We're going to do some kind of neat effects to enhance the fade out. All right, so we got to add a bunch of effects. First, we're going to add another thing of reverb. We're going to do reverence. And reverence will simulate rooms. So we'll do this pretty standard chapel thing, and we'll turn it down to 0. And then we're going to add a control here. This is going to be a automation control. Insert reverence mix level. So mix level starts at 0, and we're going to have it slowly go to maximum here. Maybe like do this. Okay, then we're going to also add the filter. My favorite, dual filter, which is a really simple thing that cuts out either high or low frequencies, whichever you set. And we're going to have the position of that. We're going to automate that as well. So we go to Insert, Dual Filter, Position, and we're going to have it go down starting here. And now it should, if I did everything right, it should sound pretty cool when it's like, when it goes through here. That's too quick. But you get the idea. We can probably not have it go all the way down like that. And maybe have this go up quicker. Yeah. So kind of like what we did was we cut out the upper frequencies so it gets more muffled, and also added reverb so it sounds like it's going away into like a big echoey chamber. So it's more than a simple fade out. All right, so we got some bunch of stuff in the chat here. Let me check. Hey, thanks guys. I'm glad you like the soundtrack so much. Oh, do you play the games you do music for? Of course I do. I played a ton of FTL. In fact, the first time I beat FTL was on this live stream with the help of a bunch of viewers. And yeah, I love FTL. I love roguelikes, which is why I even joined on FTL in the first place, because I'm just like, I'm such a huge roguelike fan. I just had to do it. So yeah, I love FTL. I enjoy Star Callers. Gravity Ghost I played a lot of. Actually still haven't beaten Gravity Ghost. Don't tell Aaron. Alright, let's listen to this again. Let's go back here. Here. Oh, Wet Desert Rock just made a good point. I messed up the order of these. Should be reverb as last, and dual filter comes first. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, I just put them in the wrong order. The filter, so what it's doing here is these inserts are processed in order. So first it'll add this original reverb that I had, and then I should probably put that reverb on there too last. That'll probably sound better too. So it'll do the filter first, and then it'll add the reverbs. Let's hear it. So thanks for pointing that out, Wet Desert Rock. Yeah. Thanks, Grease75. Yeah, I'm trying to make it accessible. I want people who don't do this kind of thing enjoy it just as much as people who do know digital audio workstations and such. And Casually Challenged, I kind of agree with you. It did fade out too fast, so I've pulled it up just a little bit because I still want it to be fading out, but yeah, we want it to be there a little bit. So, okay, I had one other idea here, and that is to introduce this midway through the fade out. This is the glitchy part. and also have it fade out and do the exact same things with the filter. Do the same thing. I don't know if this is gonna be good. It may not be good, but we'll try it anyway. And then we add reverb, reverence, chapel, put it at 0, and then we'll automate it. Mix. Start it out kind of. 100. All right, I don't know, maybe this will sound terrible, but it's always worth trying. See you later, Wet Desert Rock. Oh yeah, we didn't didn't turn it down. Volume. Oh, we did turn it down. Oh, I see. I was doing it all wrong. It's half the size. There we go. Kind of a weird thing to add. Maybe, you know what, maybe we'll... I don't know. Let me keep going. Boy, it really just cuts out. Oh, because it's, you know, because it's really high. No, not reverence. Dual filter. Boy, it really doesn't need much. I don't know. I'm not really liking it. Oh, Nautilus Party, that's a good idea. If we do the filter in the opposite direction, so it cuts out low frequencies instead, which will need to have a much sharper curve. That could be really cool. That's a good idea. That's a good start. We need less of a fade out on it. It's actually pretty cool. Let's hear it in better context. Turn this down even more. That is kind of cool, actually. I wonder if we can... If we can get that last note to be a little bit louder so it sounds more like an end. Let's listen to the whole thing again. Hey, lid flipper. Yeah, I don't like this part. I'm taking it out. It's gone. I like it by itself better. Yeah. So hey, we have like a pretty much complete cohesive track, and it's like 4 minutes long. Great work, everybody. Yeah, exactly. Casually challenged has got it. That's the importance of going back and listening to your work. You always want to go back and get a broader view of what you're writing. So yeah, it's always good. Just whenever you're writing anything, stop and listen to the whole thing again, because you'll get a much better idea. Another thing you can do. Thanks, everybody. Another thing you can do is, for those of you who are people who do digital music, I think I've mentioned this a couple of times, is to turn off your screen and listen to it. So you've got it at a certain point, you want to know how it sounds, turn the screen off and listen to it that way. And you'll be forced to, you can't edit anything, so you're sort of forced to listen to it as like another listener might listen to the track. And it really helps you notice issues. So I think we're pretty much done for today. That doesn't mean we have to stop right this second. I can answer questions and such if you want, because we have a lot of viewers. I don't want to I know a lot of you joined recently, so I don't want to kill it for you guys. But we have been doing this for 2 hours, so I gotta stop at some point. But anyway, we will pick this up next week, and we'll do the final mixing and sort of mastering process. So yeah, we will finish this up next session, which will be really cool. But yeah, if you guys have questions, now's the time. And please subscribe and follow me on Twitter at Ben Prunty, and get my stuff on Bandcamp. Sure, I could show you Massive, although here's the thing, I don't really know Massive that well. But here's what Massive looks like. I honestly, for Massive, I usually just load up presets, but you have a ton of control over what you can make. I know this is a great synth, but I don't actually use it. I've only just started using it more. But yeah, this is what Massive looks like. And you can get tons of, so here's where your initial waveforms are. So you build your waveforms here, and then you can change their envelopes on these, and low frequency oscillators. And you've got some effects somewhere. You've got some basic filters here. It's actually pretty simple. I just haven't had the chance to look through it. But yeah, it's super complicated. Oh yeah, also, you should go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/benpruntymusic, because Allison and I are doing a contest where it's a fan art contest where you can, see, a Master Sword has just pointed to it. We're doing a fan art contest where you draw some goofy art. It can be great art or it can be terrible art, as long as it impresses us in some way and it's clear that you had fun doing it. And fan art for Gravity Ghost, FTL, or Starcrawlers, any game that I was involved in. You could do even Skytorn or something if you wanted, or Darkside Detective, even those aren't out yet. Anyway, I'll pick a favorite, Allison will pick a favorite, and then you get a copy of one of my albums, whatever you choose, for free. So So you should go there and do some goofy art, do some great art or terrible art. Master Sword participated, and you should too. Yeah, it's just fun to like be forced to do art even if you're not an artist, because like you almost always have fun doing it. So yeah, you guys should go to the Facebook page, like my page on Facebook, and participate in the contest. We'll be picking a winner on Monday, so you should submit by tomorrow sometime. But yeah, please draw, even if you can't draw. That's part of the fun. If we know that you had a good time, like if we can tell just looking at it that you had a good time making it, that's like how we're going to consider the winner. Hey, Sfax, you are extremely late. Sorry. Grigri asks, Ben, are any of your albums except FTL coming to vinyl? Well, as we know, FTL's coming to vinyl, and you should totally get it. Other than that, no, nothing else of mine is coming to vinyl. Sorry. Vinyl's expensive to produce, so it's not an easy thing to get into. We're hoping the vinyl record is taking a while because it's like the art on it. There's like art on the disc itself, and that takes longer to manufacture, so it's going to be a little while. I think they're saying March or April for the FTL vinyl. I think that's when it's coming out. Anyway, Bonus asked, does it have to be submitted via Facebook? Yeah, that was the point of the contest, was to get you to like come and see the Facebook page, because we do a lot of fun stuff on the Facebook page. So you'll have to have a Facebook account and be able to comment on the post. I'm not doing the vinyl myself. I Am 8-Bit is doing it, and they're handling everything. I don't have to do any of it. And that is the exact reason why none of my other albums are coming to vinyl, because I don't want to front the money to do a full vinyl release when there's not really... I can't really make much money off of it. It would be, at best, breaking even, or possibly costing me some money. So there's not really much incentive for me to do it. I would much rather focus on making music and releasing it digitally for everyone to enjoy. Any broad structural tips? You mean like the structure of a song? I would say when you start working on a song, make a couple of different chord progressions. I did not do that for this, but a good way to guarantee that you'll have content to work with is like you make one chord progression and write a bunch of stuff around it, and when that starts to get old in the song, you have another chord progression that you wrote that you can insert and then change things up a bit. That can help a lot. So there's a structural tip. Did you have to do anything special for the vinyl? Not really. They mostly just... it was mostly just approving art and like ideas and everything. So I didn't have to do much, which was great. Are you interested in playing Firewatch? Yeah, you know, I know some of the people involved in Firewatch, and I am excited to try it out for sure. Who does the art for your album covers? It's different for every album cover. So you'll have to go on the Bandcamp site, and for each album I list who the artist is. So it's totally different each time. So I like to get different artists to do each album art. It's one of my things. I like that my Bandcamp page is like an art gallery now of different artists. So I like to like get a different artist each time. Yeah, vinyl is pretty expensive to create because there's not that much demand for it. So manufacturing it requires resources that are only cheap when there's high demand. Do you have an idea for the stream next week? Yes, we are going to mix and master this track next week. Now that it's all written and everything's in place, we're just gonna focus on mixing it. Now it sounds pretty good already. Like it doesn't need that much mixing, so we may finish early, and then we'll have to do, work on something else, and maybe we'll start a new song next week. That would be awesome. Damn. We will definitely we'll listen to the entire track before we leave. So yes, you can here. So yeah, let's just do it right now. I just answered all the questions, so let's go. Haha, I muted the mic. Sorry, guys. Forgot about that. Hello, everybody. Okay, so got a question here. Where is it? I gotta scroll up here. Dalton Fisher asks, would you ever consider doing a viewer listen critique? You mean like where I listen to stuff from viewers and critique it? That could be interesting. I definitely want to expand the show if I can, depending on my own schedule. Like I have to do soundtrack stuff and my own albums, and I have to have some free time. But I really like doing this, so I want to expand it and do more stuff with it. More episodes. I want to do like tutorial videos, and part of that's going to be like from doing a Patreon. So I think I've mentioned. I think I've mentioned doing a Patreon. I'm too busy right now to start it, but I may do one down the road, and depending on how successful that is, I may do more. I'll do more videos. So yeah, assuming everything goes well with this mythical Patreon that I keep talking about, then I will start expanding the show, the scope of the show, to include possibly critiques and tutorials and whatever else that I may do. So hopefully that'll happen. I don't know. I'm right now. I'm doing jury duty and trying to catch up with all my soundtracks. So the Patreon is going to be pushed aside for a little while. It probably won't get started until after GDC is over, which is in mid-March. So yeah, we'll see. I don't need to do a Patreon because it's like I already have income. It would just be to see how much time I could actually devote to it and how many resources I could devote to it. So yeah, it's down the road. Not gonna worry about it now. I'm just going to focus on doing this and getting better at it. And it won't go away. Even if I never do a Patreon, we'll still have at least this one show every Saturday. Oh, Helmstiff. I suggested on Twitter about listening to someone else's work and trying to reproduce that vibe. What's your thought on that? That could be interesting. Yeah. Trying to recreate someone else's work is usually a good exercise. Whoops. A good exercise for getting better. So it's definitely something I'll consider. It's not something I usually do. I like making my own stuff. As much as I like remix and rearrangement culture, I don't tend to do a whole lot of it myself. Although maybe I should, because it would probably make me more skilled in the process. But anyway, okay, so do we have any other questions? Take these off. Whew. All right, well, let's listen to this. We'll just play this while one last time here so you guys can hear it. Newbits asks, have you always used Cubase? Yes, I have definitely always used Cubase. I started using Cubase in 2005, I think. Before that, I was using Sonic Foundry's Acid. That was like my beginner program. That was like baby's first audio workstation. And then I graduated to Cubase in 2005, and I've been using it ever since. I got Ableton, and I've been using Ableton a little bit, trying to learn it, and that's really fun. Ableton has a really cool workflow. But yeah, Cubase is the main thing. question, do you like pizza? Yes. If so, what is your favorite? I just like a good old cheese pizza, maybe with extra sauce. Although I have on occasion liked some other toppings, but usually if I go to a new place, I gotta have just the cheese pizza so I can gauge how good it is, the base pizza is. Interested in generative music or tools that help augment and inspire the composition process. I do like finding new tools, like weird things like apps and stuff that can give you ideas. Generative music I'm not necessarily all that into, I don't know. I hear FL is great, but I've never used it myself. Yes, I use the guitar tool. It's called Scarby Funk Guitars, and it's super cool. You put it splits like chords and riffs onto two separate parts in the keyboard, so you can play chords and riffs at the same time. It's really awesome. Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of loud now, huh? I'll stop it. So, yeah, I've used, it's called Scarby Funk Guitarist, and it's really cool. Maybe I'll show you guys next time how Funk Guitarist works. It's really cool. You place, like, chords on one part of the keyboard and, like, riffs on the other, and then you, like, play them simultaneously to get, like, a cool sound. And it's really fun. Yeah, we'll keep going here. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to cut it here, and thanks everybody for coming and watching. We'll be back on Saturday, and of course okay, so I don't really know whether I can do the live streams this week because I still don't really know what my jury duty is going to be like. So I'm not really sure about Tuesday and Thursday stream, but I'll definitely be back for Saturday to do this stream that you're seeing now. So I'll be back then. Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Ben Prunty, like me on Facebook, and participate in the art contest because it'll be awesome. And yeah, we'll be back next week to actually mix and master this, and then maybe start a new piece. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining, everybody. It's been super fun. I'm having such a good time with this. So, thanks everybody. See you later.